Hello, beautiful souls. In today's video, I want to talk about something that has just been on my mind recently. And to try to give a label to it, I want to talk about the idea of putting ourselves in a box as spiritual people and creating an identity around spirituality. And this is something that I've definitely been caught up in and that I see happen a lot. And I think it's interesting because a lot of us come to spirituality for a sense of freedom within ourselves. And it's interesting how a lot of us begin to put ourselves further into a box and feel like we can only do things that are quote unquote spiritual. We have to wear mala beads and go all natural and look this certain way or say certain things to fit the part of being spiritual. And I find this interesting because, first of all, spirituality is much more than a look. It's much more than what you say. It is who you are. We are all spiritual beings in these physical bodies on this journey. We are not these bodies. We are all spirits. And so spirituality comes naturally to us. It is natural. It is not something to try to be or to try to put yourself in a box as. It's like you don't try to become spirituality. You bring yourself to spirituality. And I think that's really there's something important to think about. Now, of course, when you start this journey of, people like to call it awakening, I prefer to call it remembering because it is who we are. But when you do start this journey of remembering or awakening, of course, there are certain things that you're going to feel less inclined to do. Maybe you're going to feel less inclined to go out and party and stay up all night and drink and all this stuff. Or there are things you're going to feel more inclined to do, like meditate, practice yoga, get out in nature. This is natural. And so there are certain things or hobbies that we're going to feel more drawn to on this journey, and then there are certain things that we're not really going to be interested in anymore, and that's normal, that's fine, that's all a part of growth and remembering, right? And to just better articulate the point that I'm trying to make here, I'm going to give you guys just a personal story from me. So as I started to go on this journey of remembering, I started to get into meditation, yoga, being outside in nature, and just all the beautiful things. And I'm still, into all of that stuff. But I always told myself also that, I don't like going out. Going out is really bad, and going to parties is really bad. That's not spiritual. That's not what spiritual people do, so I don't do that. And so I always had this belief. And it wasn't until last year that I started to branch out and find my community and make friends with people that I align with and that have the same interests as me, that I started to just branch out. And one time I had went to this little dance party. It was like a Halloween dance party. And it was the first time in a long time I had done anything like that, gone out at night and just danced. And this was obviously a different environment. It wasn't like a club. There was no alcohol. It was purely just vibes and dancing and friends and community. And so I went to this event and I was just dancing all night and having so much fun. And I realized, I limited myself so much when I said that, I don't like to go out or party or anything like that. When I actually do enjoy doing this, I enjoy dancing, I enjoy being with my friends, I enjoy having fun and listening to this music and just feeling into my body. This is fun for me. And that's when I realized that I was creating an identity around spirituality and putting myself in this box of being spiritual, and that there are certain things that I don't do, there's certain things I don't say, or certain things I have to say. And it was an interesting realization for me. I realized that I don't have to be just this one way, and this one way that I consider spiritual or right. There are multiple parts of me. I can be sitting here, meditating, breathing, super chilled out, and then I can go and dance with my friends and be dancing on the dance floor all night, and that is fine. Both bring me joy and both bring me balance in my life. This happens to a lot of people on this journey. They tend to create this identity and create this persona of being spiritual. And it's interesting because that's the opposite of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to break down these egoic ways. We're trying to come more into the truth of who we are. And you don't want to go into spirituality just trying to create another identity for yourself. Like, now I'm this spiritual goddess and I only do this, and this is the way that I present myself and all this stuff. Like, you don't have to put yourself in a box. You can be spiritual and be yourself. You don't have to talk like all the other spiritual people you see. And if you do, do those things, that's fine too. If that comes naturally, if the typical spiritual things, the way of dressing and the way of speaking, if that comes naturally to you, that's okay too. Nothing wrong with that. But you don't have to try to change yourself to be that way. Of course, certain things about you may shift and change and evolve, but you're still your own individual being, and you can come to this journey as yourself, and you do not have to put yourself in this box. I have met so many different people that express their spirituality in so many different ways, and I think it's so beautiful. I've met people that, are what you would call your typical spiritual person, that do, wear mala beads and bask and meditate in the sun and do plant medicine. And I've seen the way that they express their spirituality. And then I've met people that live in the city and are artists and are really living a different type of lifestyle. And I've seen the way that they express their spirituality. And I think it's all beautiful, and it doesn't need to look a certain way. We are all spiritual beings, whether you're aware of it or not, down to, the random person you walk by on the street. We are not these bodies. We are all spirits walking in these vessels to experience life on earth. And so that inherently makes us all spiritual beings. And I think it's all about finding what works for you on this journey, finding the modalities, finding the things that make you feel connected to your spirit. That's really all that matters. You do not need to put yourself in this box, create these labels for yourself, create this whole separate identity of yourself. You just don't need to put any limitations on yourself, and really just listen to what feels right for you, to what aligns with you, because that's going to be different for everybody. And do the things that make you feel alive, and do the practices that make you feel connected. And that's really what it's all about. That's what it's all about, y'all. It's not about creating more of this egoic identity and digging yourself into a deeper hole of what you think spirituality is and what it's supposed to be. It's you. It's in you. It is you. Tap into it, and that's it. Even this identity of spirituality continues to create this illusion of separation from everyone else. And so, thinking I'm spiritual, they're not. They're this way, I'm not. I'm this way, they're not. And we stray further and further away from the actual truth of that we're all one, and that, the only thing that is separating us are these constructs and these labels. Sure, we may have different beliefs from people, but on the inside, on a soul level, we are all one. And that is a huge principle of this journey, a huge thing that you begin to understand on this journey. So don't get stuck in this trap of just all these labels and limitations. Just be you. Connect with your spirit, connect with the spirit of others, live in a way that feels aligned with your soul and your soul's purpose. And the rest just comes. And that's what I've learned on this journey. Life is deeply spiritual. Life is a trip, okay? Life is enough of a spiritual journey for us to try to have this spiritual Olympics of what's more spiritual and what's not. Tap into life, tap into the harmony of life, to your intuition, to you, to the life that flows through you. That's all that matters. Yeah, my thoughts have kind of stopped flowing around this, so I'm gonna just listen to that, and I think that's all I gotta say about this. And I really just wanted to share this because this is something that I needed to hear, in my journey. And so if any of you feel you've gotten into that trap, I hope that this can help uplift you and help you understand that there's nothing you need to try to do, no identity you need to try to create, no rules you need to follow. It's all about your journey, your individual expression, and that's it. So yeah, thank you so much for listening to this video, for watching, and for watching this the whole way through. I really appreciate you, and I will see you in a video soon. Bye.